What is going on, people? Today I've got a breakdown of Joel Embiid, the process, a guy who's been putting up some monster numbers of 25 points, 11 rebounds, and 3 assists. And he's been real efficient with it, hasn't been chucking up a lot of bricks to get them, but he's shooting 53 from the floor, 39 from 3, and 84 from the line. And he's a guy that early on in the MVP race, he's been a top 3 candidate depending on where you want to rank him. He's definitely there. It remains to be seen whether he can sustain this, but the biggest thing for me has been his growth with his jump shot from 10 feet to the 3-point line. He's been real deadly, and if this guy can put it together and be consistent, it gives them a different dynamic, a different element to their offense. And yeah, I'm going to break down his Miami Heat performance when they're shorthanded. Both teams were, but no excuses. This guy put in the work and was a monster throughout, and I'm going to break down why he was able to capitalize on many advantages.
One end, the three down at the other.
Embiid thinking about a three.
So you can see here, he has the time to shoot. I thought he had good rhythm, as you can see his dip and the ball coming up, but I guess he saw, okay, I have somebody trailing me, and that exaggerated second step allows for him to get square to that backboard. Yes, it's a tough shot, but you can see he's under control. He's able to get an angle, and that's a great finish.
We approach halftime.
Well, you mentioned this is a team when fully loaded, doesn't score that.
And this is why I think you always have to play with an arm bar in the post. As you can see here, an easy catch. Yeah, he's outside of the paint, but here he allows that dribble to get him to the middle. There's no contact at all. You can see the freeze frame, defenders bellying up. That allows for that pivot, and he's able to create space, and that's just too much for a guy who's this good.
Beat it.
Embiid tipping in the Maxey miss. Maxey and Simmons in the backcourt. Embiid, who was quiet offensively in the first half, in the middle, flanked by Danny Green and Mike Scott.
And this has been a part of his game that's been reliable, his mid-range game, and he's been real elite from there. Allows the offensive player to clear with his defender. Achua doesn't really put much pressure on him. He's kind of dancing. You can see the gap, allowing for Embiid to gather a rhythm using his jab. And here you can see he's going up into his shot. No real contest. Yeah, it's late, but again, it's late.
Their lead at 13. It's the game's largest.
But times we've seen the Sixers in that situation. They have yet to take advantage of it, though. Joel, it's a layup.
And here you can see Achua makes the adjustment. Maybe the coaches said, hey, you got to make it tougher for him on the catch. He does that. But here, again, another gap. Embiid delays his sweep and does a good job delaying his take as he uses that negative step to gain an advantage. But Achua does cut him off, but he's bellying up once again. There's no real threat. He's shorter than Embiid, and you're just asking for an easy basket.
Basket right now, Mark, at will.
Embiid throwing it down.
And you can see the aspect of Ben Simmons' game allows for Embiid to get easy baskets. As here, they do a good job loading up the paint, but Achua should have Embiid in his vision. You can see on the freeze frame, he's got his back towards him, and Embiid decides, now I'm going to make that cut. There's no real contact, allows for that lob threat. Good read by Embiid, and even greater read by Simmons.
Embiid again.
And again, they use the short roll here, and Achua's concerned with the drive. You can see Miami's loading up the paint, but he's got to make things tougher for Embiid. As you can see, he's dancing with him with the jab. Yes, I understand giving up some space, but you got to be able to contest that shot, get a hand at least within the vicinity of the ball. Does not. Embiid's just playing with him.
There he is again. The Euro step there around Achua, throwing down 2 and a timeout. Eric Spoelstra.
And here you got to slide with the purpose of staying in your stance. Achua does a good job of cutting him off initially as he turns his hips, but here he's got to allow for his chest to be in front of Embiid. He allows his shoulder to be. That allows for Embiid to split him with the Euro. And man, that is disgusting.
And the Euro step there around Achua. Joel surrounded as usual. You can count it, and a foul. Embiid coming up large here in the third.
And this is just bully ball at its finest. There's no real option for Embiid here. As you can see, they're shrinking the paint Silva loads up, Hero loads up, but here he's got a smaller defender. He allows for his footwork to take over. He could split and take an even longer step in order to get a better angle, but here he decides to go right through his shoulder. No real square charge take there, so I see why they called the block. Great finish.
They weren't locked. Embiid trying to get the contact. He did from Silva. Did he call it? Doesn't matter. It goes in. Who have ripped off 15 unanswered points. Embiid again. Yes!
So you see elements of Embiid's uniqueness as here they run the step-up screen with the guard. Miami decides to switch. They do a good job communicating here as Silva is able to recover. I thought here he had the drive, but you can see Olynyk stepping up. So Embiid decides, okay, maybe I should take my time here. Silva does a good job cutting him off, but here he should get his chest in front, his shoulders there. And despite the double, you can see that step back allows for Embiid to get separation, under control. And at this point, this guy's just in the zone, no matter who's in front of him.
Here's Embiid. Joel Embiid for the tie. Got it!
So here they decide to screen the screener. Once again, Embiid is just that dude, but I think here they got to make it tougher for him once again. As yes, I understand his inside presence, but Achua kind of backs up. And yes, he does get a good contest, but he's got to get into his space prior to that, delay that pickup, delay that rise into his shot. Does not do that. Clean look, great timing of the footwork by Embiid.
Isaiah Joe running the team, or at least getting the Sixers into their offense. Embiid, yes!
So once again, they allow Embiid to flourish in the mid post, in that high post area. But here, you can see Achua is giving him too much ground. Yeah, he shouldn't guard him at half court, but once he gets right up until here, he's got to be in his space. He does not do that. He's backing up, kind of ushering Embiid to get to his spot. Yes, there's a stunt there, but it's not really a full commit. It's a shorter defender. And man, you got to make stuff tough, especially when this guy's in the zone and he's been deadly.
Shot clock goes down to 7. Embiid again. Got it!
And yes, you do see 3 defenders there on the shot, but here you can see he's kind of being ushered. Yes, they're loading up on the top. You can see the defender loading up as well as Hero as Danny Green cuts. He should clear out. I don't know why he comes back, but here you can see he's being ushered. Shorter defender, no real impact on terms of his pickup. He's not into his spot. You can see here Embiid does a good job of the leg kick, gets his right shoulder square. It's a tough fadeaway, but that's just the warm-up shot.
Embiid galloping in.
Wow.
Count it, and a foul!
And here, great job by Embiid selling this move with the ball and his hips kind of moving in unison, as that allows for him to gain some momentum, change his stance. You can see that slight bite by Achua allows for him to get the gap. Hero is there, but you can see this guy at this point, he's in a rhythm. You can't allow him to get to his spots. They must stop him. They're there late. He makes them pay.
Just tell that getting into that painted area increases his chances of success. More options.
Joel!
So here I thought Miami handled this perfectly as Embiid directs that, I want a screen because I'm in the zone. But I thought here they handle it well because in this situation there's a guard hedging. He's trying to buy Achua some time as Duncan Robinson decides to hedge level. And he does a good job. And Achua, he slides towards the block. He's got to be more sliding towards that corner of that baseline. Instead, he buys and beats some time. Yes, he does contest, but again, you can't let guys get to their spots and you got to make it tough. And this guy, yes, you can clearly see, as I've said a bunch of times, he's in a rhythm. You can't allow for him to do so. And it's definitely a learning point for this guy, a young defender in this situation, and Embiid's just picking on him. So Joel Embiid's been on an MVP type level. It remains to be seen whether he can obviously keep this up. People have been neglecting him and saying he's soft, he's this, he's that, but you can definitely see glimpses of him being an all-time great level center. And a lot of people tend to neglect a lot of the big men of today's game. You got guys like Bam Adebayo, small ball 5 Anthony Davis, Nikola Jokic. Those are guys, and Embiid as well, who are guys who are very unique. You see elements of guard play in the post. A lot of people tend to overlook and say there's a lot of different styles. Guys are just dunking or slipping to the rim, but you see when guys are in the post, there's elements of guard play. As Hakeem Olajuwon, a lot of people looked at him as a big guard. Just another example of a guy from back in the day, and say, yeah, he was a guard, but you see it in today's NBA. You see a lot of guys handling the ball, making decisions, and the footwork's the same. It's just at different areas of the court. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown. You can follow me at Daniel Zen Hoops. Please like, share, and subscribe. Peace.